Hello and welcome back to another game of Dota 2. You are still watching StarLadder. Lucky you, because we're gonna have ourselves hopefully a good game. It's this Alliance versus FlipSid Tactics, and now of course on first sight you'd say, oh yeah, wow, this is gonna be a one-sided game, and then I'll say no. You're wrong. You know why? Because it is StarLadder. I think that a lot of you have seen yesterday that, you know, how things look on paper, it's not always gonna be the same. It's just not always going to be the way it's going to be in reality. We've seen a lot of upsets yesterday. Maybe we're going to see one today as well. It is Alliance, the Swedish Giants taking on FlipSid Tactics. The,
5 seconds
I guess you can say the, well, not, I was going to say, like, I would say something offensive. That's not good. But FlipSid Tactics, the underdogs from the eastern part of Europe. There we go. So, yes, we are still on day 17. This is actually the 6th game today. The 6th of 6 games. So this is our last game today, and also because I've been casting a couple of games solo, you might be finding me a bit awkward at times, but that's okay. Because if you do find it too awkward, then there's always a Yuri that is casting as well, so you can always tune into someone else if you want to. And of course I just said that I was indeed solo casting. It's because people abandoned me. Yeah, that happens. Both Nahaz and also Mod had to go, and then I was left alone, and then nobody could fill in, and then I almost cried. No, that's not true, but it was still very sad. Let's take a look at who is gonna play what, because of course Alliance, they have managed to secure themselves an Elder Titan as their first pickup, and with the Bristleback and Alchemist banned out, they already banned on 2 of the more tanky heroes, yet they're still going to be up against a very tanky hero, the Timbersaw, going to be supported by Crystal Maiden, with the Clockwork as well as the Venomancer removed unless out of FlipSid themselves, and Alliance secure themselves the support, being the Visage. Now, just before we jump ourselves into the next round of bans, let's take a quick look at the standings up until now. Alliance, they have 11 games played, 8 games won, 3 games lost. So, you know, they're not doing bad at all. They're actually sitting second highest. But because they've already lost 3 games, and SSD, Sigma, Roxkiss, Fnatic have, and Navi actually, well actually no, not Navi, but have all lost 2 or less games, they can't really afford to lose more. That's where a lot of teams are right now. Both Navi and Alliance are in the same ship, or in the same boat. I don't know which one of the saying says, but you know, they're right now not able or not allowed to lose any more games if they still want to have a solid chance to make it to the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible if they do lose that game, if they do lose another game, but it is going to be substantially harder, because history has taught us that if you have 4 losses, you might still go to Kiev, but might not. Well, you can still go to Kiev, but it's not up to you. It's up to your fellow teams if they lose their games or not. Now, 3 games is going to be giving you a really good chance, unless, of course, it's going to almost guarantee it for you. So far, I mean, as you see, there's still a lot of contenders here to look to go to Kiev, and it is this season more important than previous seasons, as this season, well, there's already $120K in the prize pool, so I think that says enough. By the way, FlipSid, the other team that we see here, they are definitely the underdog. The only win that they have is the one that they got as a free win for 4FC pulling out of the league, and that's why we see them sitting at 8 games played, 1 win, and 7 losses. So we are jumping ourselves back to the draft, because so far, well, I guess it hasn't been happening, like, not a lot has been happening lately, because it's just bans. We have got ourselves an Abaddon and a Weaver ban on the side of Alliance, just heroes that they don't want to face. And it is mid-heroes banned out for FlipSid. They are worried about what S4 can do here with the OD ban as well as the Puck. So they still select the Dragonite. They'll still have that solid mid-hero that can just even maybe not win games. Win lanes rather, but can at least normally not lose lanes, unless maybe he's going to be up against an IO Chaos Knight, or actually Timbersaw up against a Dragonite is a fairly decent matchup for FlipSid as well. But it is going to be an IO Chaos Knight combination. Now, one thing that is something that people do against this kind of lineup is either you try and shut them down before they reach level 6, and with they I actually mostly mean IO, or you make sure that you're just very far ahead and they're not going to be able to fight you once they do reach level 6, and perhaps you're going to 5-man them at that point, in which case you can't either relocate in either. So, you know,
10 seconds remaining.
It's
5 seconds remaining.
It's possible. Wow, that was my attention span. And they already got distracted by something else.
Turn to ban.
Okay, so it's not that long of an attention span, but it's gonna be okay because I'm expecting to have an aggressive game. Because FlipSid kinda, well, after they get that level 6 up at IO, they need to be aggressive, and I'm still expecting Alliance to pick up a support that, with that Visage, can rotate out a lot. They ban out the VIII, which is a very good one to ban out because that would indeed be a hero that they.
Alliance's turn to pick.
Well. Okay. Meepo. You know, I think I've casted a Meepo games once. I haven't casted one for FlipSid, that's for sure. I would remember that. Well, this is the first time that FlipSid picks it up in this season of StarLadder, so I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to do here. Maybe their stand-in player is going to be a really brilliant Meepo player. Maybe he's the Admiral Bulldog of Meepos. I was going to point out the Enchantress still being in the pool because, of course, also one of those heroes that can be very aggressive. If I was going to finish my train of thought, that would be the pickup that I would